Hello and welcome to the North Bank podcast. I'm your host, Holly, and I'm joined by Stef this evening. Hello, Stef.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good. Chris is off celebrating or, I don't know, drinks with football players or something like that. Anyway, enjoy the drinks, Chris, with a bloody social life. Me at home, as ever. Never mind, eh? So we're recording this on Wednesday evening. We'll have a little look back at the Wolves game, and we'll predominantly be looking ahead to the Everton game, which is a nice late kickoff again on Saturday evening. So, Steph, we've had a few days since the Wolves game. How are you feeling about it now?
Not great, if I'm honest, because as much as 3 points, we got 3 points, we won. I just still that lingering feeling of poor performance and injured players, and it hasn't been helped. It should help the fact that we've heard, Havertz is targeting, the end of December, and so is Gabriel, but I don't know, I'm not convinced by any of it. And so it's one of those things, like if we could have played the next day and got it out of our system and put in a good performance against someone, that might have cleansed the palate, but it hasn't.
You do know we won.
Well, this is the thing that I can't rationalise. Like,
okay, let me help you.
Go on then.
Let me help you. Okay, what was the date?
I'll lay down on the couch.
What was the date on Saturday?
The 20.
Last Saturday.
Last Saturday.
The Wolves game.
I can't remember.
It was the 13th of December.
Was it? Okay,
yeah, okay.
13th of December.
So the not the game itself necessarily, but certainly not the result, but the fallout from it reminded me of a game, if you cast your minds back, 1997.
Okay.
Do you remember 1997? It was also, bizarrely, the 13th of December. So when I saw this, I thought, oh, hello, this is interesting.
I saw Blur at the NEC in Birmingham in the start of December in 1997.
Unrelated. Unrelated.
Hey, I had a great time.
Arsenal had gone 1-0 up at home to Blackburn. I was at the game. Overmars had scored. And then we conceded 3 second-half goals in what was an appalling performance. And famously, there was what would you call it? Straight talking, players meeting after that game, impromptu players meeting after that game. At that
Clear the
point,
air
yes,
talks.
exactly. Like, are we serious about this? We hadn't won a Premier League title at this point, and we were 5th, 13 points behind Manchester United. Now, I know that the context for this season or these more recent seasons mean that a bad result at home to Wolves could be terminal for your league title. However, 13th of December 1997, we were 13 points and lying in 5th behind Manchester United. We then went on this ridiculous run where I don't think we lost a game up until we lost one game, possibly, maybe not, up until clinching the title with 2 games to go. Still, I don't know, is it still the biggest, but certainly at the time it was the biggest gap clawing back, the biggest hunt down of league leaders. I just think as a bit of perspective, we lost that game at home to Blackburn 3-1. Now, Blackburn were a better team than Blackburn now, obviously, but we were 13 points behind. We beat Wolves and we were still top. 2 points clear. So there was kind of this mass fan meltdown, collective meltdown after. And look, I get it. I was not. A last minute injury time winner at home has all the hallmarks of your Reece Nelson up there moment, like just pure release, joy, euphoric. And this had none of that. This predominantly had relief and then frustration and maybe a bit of anger, confusion, and all these. After that kind of double clenched fist of, we've done it, we've won the game, thank the Lord. It's like, well, how on earth did we find ourselves in this position? There was another stat that came out after we did our instant reaction, And last season, Liverpool had a game at home to Leicester on the 30th of December. And the score was 2-1. Leicester got relegated. The score was 2-1 to Liverpool. Can you name the Liverpool goal scorers?
I can.
Go on then.
Yes. Well, they were both Leicester's Wout, yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Wout
so
Faes.
2-1 goals. So it's almost like history repeat. I don't remember the narrative being, oh, Liverpool are going to bottle it. They're lucky. They're never going to win the league if they keep playing like that. I'm pretty sure the narrative was sign of champions. Stank the place out. The only difference was that all three of the goals in that game were in the first half, whereas the timing made a little bit of a difference in this game. I've heard someone say that there was an arrogance with Arteta's team selection. Right, and
what, against Wolves?
Yes, against Wolves. In terms of at the back, and I take the point. It was the back line. Why overcomplicate it, overthink it? Myles Lewis-Skelly should have started at left back. Ben White should not have started the game. He had three players playing out of position so Hincapie could play at left back. It didn't make sense, and we were a better side when Myles Lewis-Skelly came on, just positionally. So it was, and so the person I read, it was LeGrove actually, and he's writing about that, and he was saying that obviously sent a message to the team that this game is okay to play about with. You're not having it.
I don't read that at all. No. What that...
Okay, before you answer, there's got to be some explanation for the performance that we put in.
Oh, absolutely. And, there's a whole host of factors. Calling the manager arrogant, I feel like he overthought it because he almost took the game too seriously. I think... He wanted to make sure he had as best a player he could get, and so he wanted Saliba in, and he wanted Timber in, and just factored that. I think the less arrogant thing would have been to play Lewis-Skelly at fullback and play Norgard at centre back, and maybe then you do give Ben White a rest and bring Timber in. I'm not sure. I think it was more the personnel shows that he was taking it almost too seriously and wanted his best players, despite their condition, in the team. The reason for me of the performance is a couple of things. Is a mixture of things like tiredness and changes in personnel, but I do also think that the players have a certain responsibility too, because we mentioned in our full review a few days ago that watching live from the stands, we felt that sitting back later on was somehow an instruction from the bench. We'd misread some hand signals or something where we thought, hang on, are they meaning to do this? And actually then Arteta comes out afterwards and said, no, that's not what we wanted to do at all. So that tells me that there's something in the players that that something's not quite hitting right, whether they're mentally jaded or whether they're just safe and a little bit insecure.
Or an arrogance.
Could be.
And maybe that points to why Rice was not happy at the final whistle.
No, it wasn't.
Because players weren't doing what they should have been doing. And it's great to have accountability. And that's what reminded me of the post-Blackburn team meeting, impromptu team meeting from '97. That I bet there was a team meeting. I bet we'll learn at some point in the future that the team had a proper chat. Great position to be chatting from, as in still top, having won the game, but the performance wasn't acceptable.
And the long-term issue is, and I kind of agree with this, that the way City are winning games at the moment is better for their longevity than what we're doing at the moment, because we're having to rinse every ounce of energy through every minute in the game. Our routine wins aren't routine wins at the end of the day, whereas City are getting that. They went away to Palace last weekend and it was 3-0. And although Palace, had a good crack at it, you look at some of the underlying numbers in the game and they were fairly on top, but ultimately being 3-0 up, you can manage the game they're in, whereas we just weren't able to do that against bottom of the table Wolves. I'm left with this feeling there was a couple of seasons ago when we didn't get a win against relegated Southampton, home or away. Both draws, if I remember rightly.
But we did win.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's so hard to rationalise, isn't it? You've got a wry smile on your face because it's hard to lose that. There's something weird going on with the feeling in the belly compared to what we're not
going to play that poorly again.
I bloody hope not.
But we can't.
Well, if we do, well, then we don't deserve it, do we? If City win at the weekend, they play West Ham before.
Yeah, before us, they
Everton,
go above us. Yeah.
You know, how many people are betting on West Ham to get anything from that game? Not many. So Man City will be above us by the time we play Everton, and I'm fairly confident of that. But how will the team react then? We've got to do something better. But how we do something better? Is it just a mentality shift? Do we need to think about the personnel? Are we hoping that people will be a little bit sharper from this midweek off? We will have to see.
We're only missing 2 players.
Yeah, which is why it was a worry that the performance we then served up against Wolves, bottom of the table Wolves, I'm going to keep saying it, was such a concern, because when there are 1 or 2 players, like Ben White should have been rested, and he said that Saliba probably wasn't quite ready to start. So there are a few players here and there where there's question marks, but generally there's a lot of players available. When I know you're going to ask me later for my team against Everton, and I think my starting lineup has a couple of question marks, but I still look at some of the players that are going to be on the bench and think, bloody hell, that's quite good.
Yeah, I might start that question with name your bench.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Because it will be quite strong. I know in the post-match comments, Arteta was quite critical of Martinelli's miss, that header. And he should have. What he was trying. I know headers are more difficult to control than, obviously, a shot. But still, he was 2 or 3 yards out and didn't get it on target.
What do you make at Arteta citing a player directly? He doesn't normally do that. He talks about standards and disappointments, but to name a player, maybe just because it was such a bizarre sort of incident, it wasn't as cutting. I don't know.
Frustration, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that's it.
He frustrated because I know me and Chris have this age-old argument. Is it more important to score the goals or keep the clean sheet? What do you blame? Well, for me, it's always been look, if we're 2-0 up going into the 90th minute, it doesn't matter, or it matters a lot less if the opposition get a scrappy goal. But we've conceded goals to Sunderland, Villa and Wolves.
Chelsea?
No, in injury time.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, in injury time. And okay, the Wolves one didn't cost us ultimately, but it could have. So it's
I thought it had.
So we absolutely. So we left it. We've left ourselves in a position where we are just a single goal, going into stoppage time with a single goal advantage, and that's precarious.
Mm-hmm.
The Sunderland goal wasn't exactly. It was a bit scrappy as well, wasn't it? The Villa goal was ridiculously scrappy. So I don't know. It's
one thing that I think hasn't been mentioned as much is the first halves of games. It's clearly evident that the disappointment of conceding late on, that's a massive factor, and we talked at length about the approach to sit back so late against Wolves, and then looking back to Sunderland as well. But I'm also slightly concerned with the kind of walking pace that we seem to be starting games as well, and I think that plays into the idea of we don't put ourselves in a strong enough position early on in order to then manage the game accordingly. And that could be just scoring goals. It could be dominating the opposition, wearing them out as well, because it was a major factor in why we surprised everyone the 22-23 season. Was it 22-23? Yeah, that season when we sort of broke through. The first half of the season, we were storming games right at the start, and we start with a lot more conservative approach. trying to pass the ball nicely and keep possession, but not do a huge amount with it. It feels, anyway. I don't know. And then we've been praising Arteta for improving things in the second half, and it's like, well,
why
could
should
we
he
improve things from the start?
Well, why should he need to? Yeah,
Yeah.
It points to something having gone wrong in the first half.
These are all factors, massively.
So, all right, yeah, okay. Okay, look, we won the game. It's 3 points. We'll have kind of an increasingly dimming view of this game, especially if we manage to hold aloft the title. And just on a completely unrelated matter, any idea when the punishment's been meted out to Man City for these 115 charges?
It did rise to 132 or 133 because of further complications to them giving up evidence and things
it's
like that
already
as well.
been done. We're just waiting for the verdict. Because we could really do with some drop points, some penalty points taken off them. Any time now would be nice.
I mean, it's bad enough that the last 3-4 years they will have dominated and having been found to have broken rules, but especially at the moment, to carry on in this vein when we know that it's hanging over them like the sword of Damocles or something like that is just ridiculous. And given everything that's going on with FIFA at the moment, and the World Cup, and rescinding Ronaldo's suspensions, I've just got no faith in football authorities to do anything other than try and sweep it under the carpet and move on.
A bit impotent, aren't they? And City have got the best lawyers and the most expensive lawyers, and probably threatened to keep them stuck in court cases
forever. Yeah.
Anyway, demote them to League Two. For what it's worth. And give us the title 2 years in a row when we...
Be nice.
Anyway, right, let's forget about Wolves. Okay, Everton away on Saturday evening. You're going.
I am going.
You must be looking forward to that, yeah.
At the Hill Dickinson Stadium. The Hill Dickinson
Stadium. Is it the? You're not allowed to say that, is it?
I don't care. I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to that. New ground to tick off by the dockside in Liverpool will be interesting.
Do you want some Albino stat ahead of the game?
No, I do not.
We're going to get one anyway. Of the teams that Arteta has faced 3 or more times away from home in the Premier League, he's only taken fewer points from City away.
I was going to say City, Liverpool.
2 points from 6 games, and Liverpool 3 points from 6 games.
And the third one?
Then it's Everton.
Hooray!
4 points from 5 games.
Good, isn't it?
Incidentally, Forest are next on the list, and we go there in a couple of away games as well. So,
trying to make everyone feel good. Full of Christmas spirit, aren't you? At the minute?
That's it. Just on a point. Our next 6 games are all games we failed to win last season.
Wow.
So I'll just run through them. Everton away, we drew 1-1 last season. Brighton at home, we drew 1-1 last season, famously or infamously. Villa at home, we drew 2-2 last season. Bournemouth away, we lost 2-0 last season, referee involvement. Liverpool home, we drew 2-2 last season. And Forest away, we drew 0-0 last season. They are our next 6 games, and we failed to win all of them last season. So Arteta likes a narrative. He likes a bit of a revenge story. So we've got them all in place here. Villa with a bit of added after what happened at Villa Park a couple of weeks ago. Everton themselves have had on their best start to a season since 2021 season. They're currently 9th in the league, 4 points, only 4 points off top 4. Their last game, they lost at Chelsea 2-0 in their last time out in the league. They beat Forest at home 3-0. They beat Bournemouth away 1-0. This is the game, but the next game is the game I'm hanging on. Home to Newcastle, and I watched it. They lost 4-1.
I watched that as well, yeah.
And they were pretty poor.
They got blown away.
Yeah, early on. Now, coupled with that, compounding that, perhaps, 4 of the team that started at Chelsea are unavailable potentially. So Ndai and Gay both started that game, and they're both at AFCON. They're gone. Dewsbury Hall started that game but came off after about 15, 16 minutes with a hamstring injury. He won't be available for us.
Definitely.
And then who have I got here?
Grealish.
Grealish is a doubt. Again, hamstring, not sure. He felt uncomfortable. Do you risk him in one game? I don't know. I'd say no, don't risk him.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah. And then Seamus Coleman and Jared Branthwaite. Branthwaite's not played this season, I don't think. And Seamus Coleman, they're both... Branthwaite's definitely not playing. Coleman just had a hamstring injury alongside his name, so I don't know how long. I don't know when he picked that up and how long he'll be out for. So they are coming into the game. Okay, they lost their last game. They're still on a good run. Obviously, their atmosphere is famous, and I do have experiences of the old Goodison Park as an Arsenal fan in the away end, and they are loud, and we have struggled there somewhat on occasion. But they are missing creativity in their team, and Gay in the middle. And if Grealish and Dewsbury Hall and Ndai are all unavailable, as we think they will be, that's a lot of creativity out of that team. So it's a good time. We'll talk about why it's a lucky time for Man City to be travelling to Sunderland later on, like in a couple of weeks' time. But it's actually a good time for Arsenal to be travelling to Everton, I think. Obviously, we'd like Gabriel back and maybe Havertz leading the line. But those two aside, we are pretty strong. I know there's a couple of backup players who are missing, but in terms of first 11, first 13 players, there's only two. And, although you posted something earlier on today on the socials, didn't you, about we've managed to pick up our 100th injury since the start of last season.
The most of any team in the Premier League, so we are top of another league. Absolutely.
Ben White is responsible for 9 of those 100, though.
Yeah.
Poor sod. Anyway, so look. So that's Everton's position coming into the game. We're obviously aware of our position coming into the game. You're going to the game. How are you feeling about it?
Nervous as hell. All because, again, just the fallout from Wolves has been so negative. There's a few people piling in on certain players, and just the general vibe was, pretty sour after that. But like you, having looked at the game and looked at Everton, those players missing is massive. And also, I did watch that Newcastle game as well. And this is a Newcastle team that have been really iffy, and especially away from home. They have not scored a lot of goals. So to go to Everton and score 4 and comprehensively win was something of a surprise. So I'm like you. I'm clutching at those, hints of a light and rays of hope that we might carry into the game. And like you say, when you look at it, just the names on paper, there's not a huge amount of players missing. Although Gabriel is a very important player. So I'm not really going to be one to sort of make excuses. And they should have had a kick up the arse following the Wolves performance, and a week off this midweek, because our game we should have been playing in the quarterfinals of the League Cup has been moved to the week after, because Palace play in the Europa League on Thursday. So we've had this week. Arteta apparently gave the players a couple of days off and just rested and recovered. Zubimendi apparently wasn't in training today, but that was just about managing his load. He has been playing a lot of minutes, and they obviously feel that he needs something of a rest. So these players should be slightly refreshed as well. So yeah, we will see. But that record at Everton, I don't know, but it's a new stadium. It's not Goodison. You've got to think, okay, fresh. It's somewhere completely different.
We're full of big game players as well. Like we shouldn't be cowed. We shouldn't be cowed by any atmosphere. I mean, this team went to Real Madrid, the Bernabeu. Did you go to that game? You did.
I did go to. I don't know if I've mentioned that before, but I was there. Yeah, that atmosphere was something to begin with. Anyway,
and has Chris sent in some thoughts? I forgot. Should have perhaps.
He has, absolutely, and I was supposed to have those queued up, so I'm just going to open them now. I mean, he also has some wider points about some of the stuff that's been said this week. So he says, that wonderful Wenger quote about learning how your teammates prefer to pass so you can make the right run got me thinking. As the talk around Big Vic rumbles on, I see it largely as a relationship-building issue. We will learn to play to his strengths, ball to feet so he can roll a defender and get a shot off, or in the channel to run onto, but this is proving difficult against low blocks. But he too needs to be more alert to balls across the box, trust that Saka will find that space. Corridor of uncertainty in front of the keeper, and maybe those cheeky chips from Eze and Odegaard over the top when teams play a higher line. He says he'd also highlight Eze as a player who will benefit from greater understanding of teammates' strengths and find new solutions to low blocks as he seems to struggle. Perhaps he didn't face as many while at Palace.
Can I ask you, I know this is Chris speaking, but have we got time to allow these relationships to develop?
No. However, all this talk about Gyökeres at the moment has got me sort of thinking a couple of things, because the parallels with the rhetoric around Havertz when he joined feels so similar, and yet we're currently at a moment where you could realistically sub Gyökeres out for Marino, which we've done, a bit of a patch, but he's done pretty well this year fulfilling that role. You could also now go to Gabriel Jesus, who is back from injury and looks all right at the moment. And Martinelli has even played in that centre-forward role. So when Havertz, people were getting used to him, and there were some people who were saying, what on earth have we bought? What does he do? He's not a centre-forward, blah, blah, blah. Well, Gyökeres is a centre-forward. That's all he is. And that's all he probably ever will be. And so I think there is some calibration that needs to go. Look, we need things to happen now. But what I'm pleased for is that we've got a plan B, a plan C. If we need a Marino, if we need Gabriel Jesus, there are alternatives, so that we can utilise the out-and-out centre-forward that we do now have. The other analogy I was coming up with, and I was trying to think of this, being on a farm here, on a farm, sometimes you need the right machine and the right tool to do a job, but you don't always have that tool, so you have to make what you've got kind of work. And as much as, like on my, little bit of land that I've got, what I would really like is a quad bike. Quad bikes are manoeuvrable, and they're showy-offy, and they're quick, and they're that's Havertz, that's Gabriel Jesus, and whatnot. What Gyökeres is a tractor, and he'll plough the field, and he'll go in straight lines, and he'll tear it up, and he'll do that job. And I don't know, there has to be some kind of factor with that. But then there's other players who need to step up. Odegaard's output, needs to get back up. We talked about his shooting, particularly against Villa a couple of games ago, was left wanting a little bit. Martinelli, for all his good work in the Champions League, has got to be able to do it in the Premier League. And I'm reminded of Pedro Porro, Spurs' fullback, who after their defeat to Forest last week said they're finding it harder in the Premier League than the Champions League. So, yeah, a few of these players have got to step up.
Yeah, it's ensuring that we don't lose or drop points whilst that's happening. And we do know, and it's within this team's memory bank as well. I know we've had quite a few additions in the summer, but we did go on an incredible post-Christmas run a couple of years ago, and
2 seasons ago.
Yeah, so
amazing.
It is. And it wasn't ultimately good enough, but we have got that within our arsenal.
Yeah, if we go on that kind of run and still lose the title, well, then what kind of run did the other team go on? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, we've got an away game at City again, where that was the only drop points, wasn't it? And that would have...
For Villa. No, you're forgetting Villa.
Oh, Villa. But it could have been City, though, because City are the ones that pipped us. Oh, that would have been absolutely. a 4-point swing. Has Chris said anything else about the Everton game? I know I interrupted you.
No, not in particular. Just more about the team selection for Everton.
Okay, go on. We might as well.
Well, he says he's also concerned about the load of other players during this period. Zuba missed training, as I mentioned, managing his load. Doesn't seem that Arteta trusts Norgard. Question will be who plays right back to give Timber a breather. This is over the period, probably not in the next game. Before he gets crocked, like White has done. So would that be Lewis Skelly, perhaps? Nichols is too young or raw, although I think Nichols plays further forward. I thought
He's a
I
fullback.
could be wrong. He is a fullback? Okay,
fullback,
fine.
Yeah.
And then he's raising the question, although I think it's a bit early to talk about that, my favourite topic, strengthening the squad in January.
I have heard people talk about it.
Well, no, absolutely. And a few people have even said, Tomiyasu has just signed for Ajax because he was a free agent. Is that something we could have done? We've got Oxlade-Chamberlain training with us. I'm sure he played fullback at some point for us.
Can he play centre-back?
I don't know. And then you've got to wonder, with a release clause like he's got, could Semenyo do a job in defence?
Well, the Semenyo would be a signing for next season.
Massively.
But if there's a chance that we could nab him ahead of City, but that would mean taking the plunge in January, I think you've got to do it, even though just to future-proof that side a little bit. I mean, I can't see us doing that. I think that's pie in the sky. He would be. We would be spoilt somewhat with an attacking array of players. But I think a defensive reinforcement. If there's a player that we've earmarked for the summer, a defensive player we've earmarked for the summer, well, then I think Berta probably tapping them up, not tapping them up as such, but like contacting them, the clubs, to see if there's any chance that they'll move in January, just to bring it forward a little bit. That's something. So it's not something that it would be part of the plan, just brought forward, rather than a reaction to what's happening currently with the squad. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Right, has he picked his team then? He
has picked his team, and I have to say his team is exactly the same as mine. We've both got Raya in goal, back four, Timber, Saliba, Nketiah, Calafiori, midfield three of Odegaard, Rice, Zubamendi, and then a front three, Saka, Gyökeres, and I would have put this caveat in there as well. Trossard if he's fit, but Martinelli if he's not.
Yeah, that's also what I have.
Right. And you also asked earlier about the subs bench.
Yeah.
So if I just go to my notes here, because I actually did make a note of that. Yeah, so if that's the team we're going
I've written
with,
the subs down as well.
Right. So I've got. How many are you actually allowed?
9.
I wasn't.
Is it 9?
No, 9. Well, I'm probably missing one or two then, but it doesn't really matter. Salmon will probably be there as well. Kepa, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Norgard, Marino, Waneri, Eze, Madueke, Martinelli or Trossard, and then Gabriel Jesus. You know what I mean?
No, it's ridiculous.
That's good. Yeah, it's great.
It's a ridiculous bench.
Yeah.
Like, it's the strongest bench in the Premier League. I can't think of another bench that's stronger than that, or even as strong as that. Even City. Okay, yeah, maybe today, but they played their B team.
Maybe that's what's lingering in my head about Wolves then, that the worry is that it's a mental thing, that it's a physical thing, because the players are there, the talent is there. Or does Arteta need to mix it up more? Was it just the issues at the back?
It could be tactical.
Could be all under instruction.
Yeah. Why are we starting so slow? It's all about Control FC, isn't it? So, I mean, the subs bench, the 9 I've named, I haven't got Salmon on it. The only cover defensively is Norgard, really, and Lewis Skelly's there as well, but not in terms of central defence. But Timber can slip inside, and someone can drop in at right back as well. But it's ridiculous. Madueke, Eze, Martinelli, Jesus, Marino, Waneri. I mean,
all game changers if they come on. If some of those were to start, I mean, the more I see of Madueke, the more I want him at the start.
But where?
I know you want him on the right side, and I get that. And I'm not even saying necessarily that I just want to put him on the left, because as good as Saka can play on the left, they're good enough to rotate and move around, give the opposition.
I mean, that's an interesting one. But Saka seems like the one bright spark, the one silver lining. Well, no, two. We won the game. Was Saka's performance.
Yeah, it was good.
It was brilliant. It was back to where and that's him playing on the right, on the right, on the right, on the right, and the full minutes as well. So I mean, he got 2 assists. As far as I'm concerned, he got 2 assists. Saka did. I know he's not.
Yeah,
he's
without those crosses,
he's not credited with that, but he's got 2 assists. Look, I'm looking forward to the game because it's an opportunity. Listen, we will learn about this team on Saturday night.
Yeah,
I thought last Saturday against Wolves was an opportunity to make a statement, and I thought the team that I think Arsenal are this season would have made that statement. So I'm a little bit concerned that they're not the team I thought they were. So they've got an opportunity on Saturday to prove that they are in fact the team, because everybody is looking for us to slip up.
Oh, of course.
You just know. I haven't looked at any Man City fan sites or fan accounts. I'm pretty sure that they're talking about an opportunity to establish themselves at the top outright.
Yeah, but I'm not being funny. Like, I'm hearing that already. You know, I've got kids at school where I teach already saying it. Just because the gap between City is reduced and the last couple of performances have been a bit iffy, then they're already saying it. Oh, here it goes. You know, it's starting early this year, blah, blah, blah. And this is the thing. This is the hypocrisy, isn't it? It's like, we're bottlers, we're not going to win the league. And yet, that's then becomes a thing, like, when that manifests. It's like, well, if you know that, like, it's not then a point to, I don't know, it's weird.
I just write this thing as our home record in all competitions this season
is amazing.
Yeah, we only dropped points at home to Man City.
Mm-hmm.
We've won 11 of 12 at home. Just I've written that down. I forgot to read it out post Wolves game. What's Chris's score prediction?
He says it's what was his words? A tight one, but we nick it 2-1.
Do you want to go next?
I'm Everton. Because of the form we're in, I feel like Everton might get one, but I think we might get 2. So I'm going 2-1 as well.
Okay, I'm going 3-1 us. 3-1. I still got faith in this team.
You're going 3-1?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know the quality of player Everton have to come in to replace the players they're missing.
Well, I mean, I can tell you. So Carlos Alcaraz is the one that would replace Idrissa Gueye, and he was at West Ham. And I think he was at West Ham.
He was at Everton. He's been at Everton a while, hasn't he? He
was he?
That. Wasn't he the one that was on the receiving end of that?
A different one.
Wasn't he the one that had that bad tackle from Son at Spurs? Maybe that's not him. Maybe it's not him. I don't know.
I'm not sure. But either way, you know, it is a step down. You know, the Everton midfield: Idrissa Gueye, Dewsbury Hall, Grealish, and who's the other one? Ndiaye have been performing really well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the fact that they were
I'm
replaced by them.
I'm glad their striker Barry's actually got his first goal.
Oh yeah, because you would have guaranteed him.
No, we would have handed that to him.
Yeah, I know. So it'll be interesting, but yeah, could be a good time to face Everton.
Well, considering they put the game from Sunday lunchtime to Saturday evening. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not overly happy about that, but it is what it is. They wanted a bit more space between that and the game on Tuesday against Palace in the League Cup.
Fair enough.
So
fair
we'll
enough.
See. Does it give you that much time spare because you got to travel back through the night?
Anything else? Anything else? I know that in the Arsenal world, Thierry Henry's been acknowledged by the BBC Sports Personality of the Year. He's a Lifetime Achievement Award. I haven't read too much about it. I know there's a video doing the rounds of lots of kind of celebrity Arsenal fans and a couple of former players. I don't know, eulogising about him, I assume. I haven't watched it.
It's Thierry Henry, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Arsenal legend, it's fair enough. Good on him.
Arsenal women, as we record on the Wednesday, they're 3-0 up away at Leuven in Belgium.
Well said.
Thank you.
They're qualified though, haven't they? That's already in the bag.
Yeah, I mean, they're top of the Champions League group, 18 points. No, they're not. That's the men's. What am I looking at here?
They've qualified, but they're not top, no. Because they're through. They've guaranteed progress to the next phase, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to your instant reaction from Goodison.
Seeing the new ground.
Yeah. But I don't know, the away fans perched up?
No, they're in a little corner.
Okay.
By the side of the pitch. Looking at the stadium map, because when I got my ticket, obviously I don't know the stadium, so I was like having a look. It reminds me, I think, if I've got my angles right, of like the way it looks on the telly when you see the Tottenham stadium. You know, they're sort of the away fans are up and to the left, I think, aren't they, in that corner? I think that's right. So we'll be in that corner, row 10. So you might even
You'll
see
get on the telly.
I might even get on the telly. It's a bit too early. I've got a nice black and white Bar Humbug Christmas hat, but I think that might have to come out for the Palace game that's only a couple of days before Christmas.
It's not too early. It's past mid-December.
Yeah, I know, but, you know, for me, Christmas doesn't start until the schools break up for me. So,
which is before the Everton game.
Yeah, okay, right. I might see if, I've got to find it. I've got to find it. Is what I'm covering up for.
Right, okay. I think we've wrung what we can out of this one. I'm bowing out for a couple of podcasts, so I wish everybody a happy Christmas, happy holiday. I'll be back again for a post or pre-Villa, if depending on when we record it. You guys will keep everybody entertained, I'm sure, in the meantime.
We'll try.
Anyway, cheers for chat, cheers for listening, and yeah, happy Christmas, everybody, from me. Cheerio.
Happy Christmas. Bye.
Bye. The North Bank, an Arsenal podcast. Subscribe, rate and review on your app, and find us on your socials at North Bank Pod. Email hello@thenorthbankafc.com and check out our website, thenorthbankafc.com. Produced by the Podcast Company.